My name is Norma Elizabeth Garmon. My parents was Lily and Wesley Steele. She was a seamstress. She worked at Fort McPherson during the war time, and she sewed out there. I just know she was a good Christian woman and hard-working. We depended on her. I mean, there was times I can remember when we didn't have food to eat, and she would get out and knock around in the weeds and find chicken and hen eggs, and that would be our meal. But she's done that many a time. He was an art glass worker. You see these colored windows in churches. He done a lot of those. And he also done those stars in the Fox Theater. If you've ever been in there and saw them, that was his handiwork. Now, my daddy was a big jokester. He was a big jokester, and he would keep you laughing. Everybody loved him. He was good. He was good, you know, if he had anything, he'd give it to you. Well, first was Geraldine, and she died when she was 5. And then there was Irene, and there was Tommy Ruth, and there was Louise, but everybody called her Iggy. And then there was me, and then the last was Ronnie. But then I had the 2 boys, 2 brothers that we adopted, was Walter and Andy. We had a thing going about my daddy. He would say that we moved so much, and we had chickens. And every time they saw my daddy coming, they'd lay down on the back and stick up their feet for him to tie their feet, because he tied their feet when we was moving. Tied their feet and put them in a crate. They knew they were moving again, so they lay down on their back and stuck their feet up. We wrote letters for 6 weeks, and then we got married. I think I started writing him in June. He came to Atlanta in July, and we got married in September. He's a hard worker, very hard worker. Of course, we just lived on a farm for a year after we was married, but he worked hard. His good looks, he was a good-looking man. I don't know how I ever got him. Probably when we bought that camper, our big camper. That was a happy day. We had a lot of happy days going camping in our younger years, going to Conasauga. Oh yes, especially vacations with our grandchildren. And in the summers when they would come up to stay with us. There's a lot of good times. We were married for 52 years. Kenneth, David, Arlene, Randall, Mark, Sharon, and Alicia. I know they're all good. I know that, and I'm proud of every one of them. And I thank God just about every day for all of them. I remember them us sitting at the table, and Arnold, was gone most of the time. And this was before Alicia was born. And we was all sitting there at the table. And sometimes I had to carry a switch to the table with me or have a belt around my neck. And there was 1, 2, 3, one right after the other turned over their glass of tea. And I said, okay, the next one that turns over a glass of tea is going to get a spanking. I turned over the next glass of tea. Yeah, it was me, so you can imagine. engines and television. And the first washing machine I had after we got married was one of those that you put them in the wringer and have to run that way. You know, that's the first washer we had. It was a side-by-side tub. You wash them in one side and drop them in the other side and rinse, it spins them out. We didn't have one when I was growing up. We didn't have a car. Now, me and Papa had first thing we had was 38 Studebaker. And I learned to drive in that 38 Studebaker too. To me, it's when all my children was at home, growing up, going to school, learning. Yeah, they were all together. That's when would all eat at the same table. Same time every night, you'd eat at the same table. You would make your little comments, your talks. Families, my whole life. I mean, if I didn't have family, where would I be? Caring for other people. I really have a burden for people, you know, I really do. And I would just like to be able to help everybody. My children, the way they've grown up, the way they've made their own lives, their families, just everything all together. I don't know who could be more proud of their children than I am. Loving God and loving each other.